Good day, everyone, and welcome to our class. The course is General Biology 1. That's the course title, and the course code is Bio 101. So I welcome you all to this lecture. We are going to introduce the course to you, and in this introductory class, we are going to list the course contents, the course outline, and then also list the course contents, that is the details under each of the outline. So I welcome you to the class. This is the outline. If you take a close look at it, you will see that we have about 11 units under this course Bio 101. The 11 units, each and every one of them has a content under the heading. And so the unit 1 is Introduction to Biology. And under this heading, we are going to introduce you to the course General Biology. And then unit 2 is Activities of Living Things. Here we'll talk about the activities of living things such as plants and animals, and then some other microorganisms. Then in unit 3, you'll be taught about the cell and the cell structure and its activities. In unit 4, we'll talk about types of cell. We'll discuss prokaryotic cells and then eukaryotic cells. And in unit 5, we'll discuss about viruses, fungi, and algae. Then we'll proceed to unit 6, where we'll discuss the ecology of living organisms. And of course, the living organisms include both plants and animals, and then some other microorganisms. In the unit 7, we'll talk about the interrelationship between organisms. We'll talk about the relationship that exists between plants and animals and how they interact with each other in their environment. Then unit 8, unit 9, and 10 has to do with plants. And so in unit 8, we'll talk about plants, and there we'll talk about stem, leaf, and roots. And in unit 11, we'll also talk about flowering plants, talk about fruits, and then discuss seeds. And in unit 10, we'll talk about one of the great scientists' work, and that is Mendel's work on plant breeding. And under that heading, you'll be taught about types of breeding, and then we'll proceed to unit 11, which is the last unit in the course Bio 101 this semester. And that unit is all about chromosomes and inheritance in living organisms. And so this is a general overview of the course outline for Bio 101. And so under this each of this course outline, units 1 to 11, there are specific subheadings that form the course contents which you need to know about so that you can read ahead and then prepare your mind before you attend the lectures so that you'll be able to benefit maximally from the lectures. And so we now want to go over to see the various subheadings that form the course content under each of these course outline. And please take note of them so that you'll be able to read ahead before the classes. Under the Unit 1, that is Introduction to Biology, we will define biology. And when we define biology, we will also talk about the branches of biology. There are several branches of them, and in this course, you'll be taught at least about 15 of them. Branches of biology that is of interest to us in this course. And then in C, we will discuss general classification of living things. In D, we'll now talk about classification of living things based on how they utilize energy or based on energy utilization. Then E, we talk about variation in living things, and that is how living things vary from each other. And then in F, we'll take care of the types of variation in living organisms. And then G is about the causes of variation. And after that, we'll now look into scientific methods and the elements of scientific methods. So that is all about Unit 1. And we proceed to Unit 2. Here we will discuss activities of living things. The living things include plants and animal and other microorganisms. There are some other activities which they engage in, which you will discuss in this course. The A is ingestion by living organisms. B, assimilation by living organisms. C, growth. D, excretion. E, reproduction. F, responsiveness. G, coordination. And H, regulation. So that is all about Unit 2, and I hope you are taking note of them. Then in Unit 3, we will discuss about the cell of living organisms. We will talk about their structures and activities. So in the A part of it, we'll talk about just the cell. In the B, we'll talk about the structure of plant cell. And then C, structure of an animal cell. D, will now differentiate between an animal cell and a plant cell. In D, we'll talk about diversity of these cells. F, talk about cell activities. G, cell division, where we'll talk about mitosis and cytokinesis, then osmosis and plasmolysis. And that's all about Unit 3. In Unit 4, we will discuss the types of cells and talking about prokaryotes and eukaryotes. We'll talk about them. And in A, we'll talk about bacteria as an example of prokaryotes. Then in B, major differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. C, the structure of bacteria. D, types of bacteria. E, nutrition in bacteria. F, reproduction in bacteria. And population growth. And finally, G, we talk about bacteria opportunistic infection. Then we move to Unit 5. Unit 5 will be all about discussion on viruses, fungi, and algae. And the A part will be an introduction to virus, an introduction to fungi, and an introduction to algae. The B will be about characteristics of virus. And then C will talk about life cycle of virus using coronavirus as an example. Then in D, we'll talk about the structure of a typical fungus. E, types of fungi and nutrition. F, classification, characteristics, and then uses of fungi. G, classification and characteristics, and then the biological importance of algae. H, structure and types of algae on the basis of their nutrition, and then on the basis of reproduction. And in I, we differentiate between algae and fungus. And then we progress to Unit 6. Unit 6 will be on ecology of living organisms. And there we will define ecology and talk about types of ecology, types of habitats of living organisms. And that is where we'll talk about animal habitats and plant habitats, and then the niche. And when we are done with this, we'll now talk about biotic and abiotic components. And then we'll wrap it up in Unit 6 with ecology and evolutionary biology. Then we proceed to Unit 7. Unit 7 is about interrelationships of organisms. Here, we'll give definition of what interrelationship of organisms is all about, and then we'll mention types of relationship between organisms, and then give detailed explanation of what happens in each of these relationships. And that is how organisms live and relate with each other. So we'll talk about mutualism, we'll talk about predation, commensalism, we'll talk about parasitism, amensalism, and when we are done with this, then we'll also discuss another subtopic, although not really about interrelationship of organisms, but that is principles of nomenclature of organisms. We'll also handle it under Unit 7. Then we progress to Unit 8, and that unit will be about plants. And then when we'll be talking about plants, we'll talk about the stem, the leaf, and roots of plants. We're going to discuss this in details. And then we'll talk about the forms of stems. In B, will be about nodes and internodes. C, buds and natural ways by which buds are protected. D, modification of buds. E, modification of stems. F, types of leaves, leaf venation, parallel venation, and reticulate venation. And then G will be about compound leaves, pinnately compound leaf, and palmately compound leaf. And H will talk about tuberous roots and tap roots, parts and characteristics of roots. Then we will come down to discuss photosynthesis and transport in plants. And then Unit 8 will now finish up on that unit with the general structure, anatomy, and the physiology of stem, and also leaf. and roots. Then we progress to Unit 9. Unit 9 will discuss flowering plants, fruits, and seeds. And then the A aspect will be about flowers and floral diversity. The B will be on structure of a typical flower and types of flower. C is development of the pollen grain and oval. D, pollination and types of pollination. E, fertilization. And then in F, we'll talk about fruits and classification of fruits. G will be about seeds, development in dicots and monocots. And in H, we discuss dispersal of seeds and fruits. And I, we talk about methods of fruits and seed dispersal. And in Unit 9, we'll conclude by discussing dispersal by explosive mechanism and then dispersal by animals. And then we'll go over to Unit 10. Unit 10, we will talk about Mendel's work on plant breeding. And the A aspect will focus more on what Mendel's work on plant breeding is all about. When we're done with it, we'll now discuss the breeding methods. And here, we will talk about the pure breeding and then hybridization. And we'll conclude Unit 10 with discussion on principles of plant breeding. That's all about Unit 10, and it's now time for us to look into what we have in Unit 11, which is the last unit for this course outline and its content. In Unit 11, we have chromosomes and inheritance in living organisms. That is what we are going to discuss in Unit 11. And so under Unit 11, we'll discuss the stages of meiosis. And in B, we'll talk about haploid and diploid cells. C, we'll talk about chromosomal explanation of independent assortment. D, we'll discuss chromosomes and karyotes. And E, we'll talk about inheritance of diseases in living organisms, both in animals and in plants. And F, we'll discuss on monohybrid inheritance, and then we'll finalize the Unit 11 with a discussion on dihybrid inheritance. So this is what the course outline and its contents is all about in Bio 101. So I know that you have taken notes of most of the things that you are going to look into and prepare yourself before each of these classes. And so at the end of this a discussion on the outline and course contents, you have an assignment to do and then submit it at the comment section. The assignment is to arrange the course outline shown below serially. If you look below, you see the course outline that we have just discussed from 1 to 11. So in this assignment, the course outline is not arranged serially. Everything is mixed up together. So if you were paying attention throughout the discussion on the course outline and its contents, you have to arrange this course outline shown here below serially in the correct order as we discuss it, from number 1 to number 11 correctly, and then post them in the comment section with your name, your department, and your student registration number. And once you have done that, you post it. We'll eventually assess them. So I wish you a nice time in Bio 101. Wish you all the best. And I encourage you to pay all the attention and take your lecture seriously and focus. And in the end, we wish you all the best. Thank you.